Welcome back, Unapologetic Voices. Me and my boy Thomas are going to continue telling our stories and having fun with it. If you guys are enjoying this content, leave that like, leave that follow, shoot us out that honorable mention with some info of whatever. Other than that, hit us up on our email at unapologeticvoices1@gmail.com. Other than that, let's get into it.
So I've been wanting to talk about that with you, but like every time someone in the office has mentioned it, I was like, yo, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I can't talk about that right now. And they're like, why? I was like, I'm going through some tough time right now. All of my family are drowning. And they're like, are you serious?
Oh, that's funny.
And I was like, yeah, I don't really care, but
Don't talk about it.
I need to wait. I gotta keep all that excitement to tell Thomas.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. But like it was just like that whole thought, man. Like, okay. So
No, my turn. So
go for it.
I'm trying to recall like
Hey,
yeah.
I give you permission. Go ahead.
Thanks, man. I appreciate the permission.
Yeah, I'm gonna drink some more water.
Yeah, why don't you shut the fuck up? How about that? There it is. Right on the mic. All over the mic.
I did it like that on purpose.
Oh, yeah. You've never looked more like Jesus Christ than you do right now.
With water in my beard?
No, but just like the way your beard is shaped and your hair.
Oh, okay. Is it because it's more squared out?
Yeah, it looks very squared.
It's because it's been growing. Because how I've been doing it, I've been combing it forward and then trimming it down.
Yeah.
But the last time I did it, I combed it down and then I trimmed it a little bit and now it's squared. And I don't like the square.
I don't either.
I like it more V.
You're getting whiter by the day.
Thank you.
I'm trying to remember a good time of when like I've been around a natural disaster or something or an event like that.
Never.
You?
Oh, I've been through some of them.
Yeah,
man.
I've been through a couple. I'm just trying to remember like a good one I could tell on the podcast.
Yeah.
One of which that comes to mind, which isn't like a huge deal, but I was in Florida one time, just off the East Coast. There's like a small island where like probably 30 people live, and you can like rent an Airbnb over there. You have to take a ferry over there.
Yeah.
It's got like one restaurant and one, like shop, and that's it. Like no gas stations, nothing. Everybody's battery powered over there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's very cool. So my family and I were staying there one time. I was probably like 13, 14 years old. And there was a tsunami warning. And this was like late at night, and there was no boats or ferries that like weren't privately owned that we could take back to the mainland of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were like kind of fucked, but we weren't like panicking or anything. And so we were like, let's go out to eat dinner. We were there for like 5 days. So like, let's go eat at this restaurant. People say it's actually really good. Like, this is a rich people island. So like it must be a nice restaurant. We go to the restaurant. It's pretty nice. It's up on like an outpost. It's elevated. Everything was kind of elevated there for like floods and water and stuff. But like, we're going up there and sitting down, and I order like a steak and everything. And we're talking about how, what should we do if there's like a water incident or whatever? Like we're staying at an Airbnb house that's like elevated, so we should be fine. We'll go on the top floor. If there's a real emergency, people will come with helicopters. There's people on this island that can, who know how to like get out of here, right?
Yeah.
All the lights shut off. All the power goes dark. And let me explain this more.
Your knife comes out.
Let me explain this more clearly. I did have a knife around my neck.
Huh?
I was wearing it was a gift. I got I think a previous Christmas that year or something. Or the year before, where it was like a necklace with like a knife.
Okay.
Like a
Courtney
small
has one.
Yeah, they're fun. They're cool. They're very
they're
white.
nice.
So like they're very Crocodile Dundee. So
the ones that go right in between the
No.
Okay.
Jesus. Mine was like a survival knife, but it was small.
Yeah. Courtney has one.
Got it. So like when I explained to you that it's an island, it's like 2 miles away from shore. You can barely see it with the naked eye away from the mainland of Florida.
Yeah.
When the lights went off and all the power shut off on the entire island, we're talking darkness. And we're talking like this is the setup for a fucking movie.
Right.
Dude, it was pitch black. And all the noise, all the you don't realize it when you're there, but there's generators running all the time, and there's like this the hum of like the electric lights and stuff like that. Just in an instant, silence. And I'm gonna also explain, besides the wait staff and all this other stuff, we're the only people in that restaurant. So it was like really surreal and weird. And the waitress came out and she's like, "Hey, everybody, nobody panic. We got a couple like flashlights here and stuff. Your food is like,
where's my bread?
Your food is like pretty much ready if you guys still want to eat it.
Yeah.
And like, do you guys have cash?" And I think my family was like, "Yeah." And we were like, "All right, cool." So we still ate in the dark, right? And then we expected within like 15, 20 minutes, people would be coming around with like lights and stuff.
Is it because I cracked my jaw?
Yeah, I almost fucking got pissed off. Came around with like lanterns or anything like that, or people like walking around. No, it's just dead silent. And so like every few minutes we'd be talking as a family, you know, and whatever, and I'd be eating my steak or something.
Yeah.
And like we'd all go kind of quiet just to like, you know,
for the ambience,
just kind of hear what's going on. There's nothing out there. There's not even, dude, there was like lizards on the island. There was no birds. There's no like, could you imagine? There's no like crickets. There's nothing.
Yeah.
So like we get out and we're taking a golf cart around on this island. We turn it on. It's the only light. Like we don't have flashlights or anything. And this is right before iPhones and Androids had like the flashlight feature, I'm pretty sure. You know?
Yeah.
This is a while ago. Dude, we're rolling in the dark. And it's like, it's just so, it was like, as a kid especially, it was very scary. It was like very like, whoa, what's going on here? I'm pretty sure this is just night number 2 on this island.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm trying to explain it in a better, like more thrilling detail. It's not it's not a tourist destination island. It's a private island.
Right. You go there because, you know, your rich bougie family had the ability.
I mean, it was just like, you know, let's Airbnb on this island and like maybe we can fish off of it a little bit or like whatever.
Fun. Go to a nice restaurant.
Yeah. Dude, it was like super scary. And then the water started happening.
Okay.
Like waves and stuff. It wasn't like, you know, the island's big. I would say in full capacity, the island is probably the size of the Detroit Zoo. Like it's a bigger island. You could fit like...
That's not that bad.
No, you can comfortably fit 100 houses on it. You know what I mean? But they're only probably like 40. The rest was like palm tree jungle, you know?
Gotcha.
Dude. I keep remembering it. It was just so... I miss that feeling as a kid of being afraid of things because it made life more interesting. You know what I mean?
Right. There's just
I now have no... I don't...
That sense of whimsy and like curiosity.
Yeah. The spark of life. Like, for example, in 2032, 2037, I don't remember what it is, there's supposed to be an asteroid that's going to hit the Earth. It has like a 1 in 45 chance. Or 43 chance. Like it's a very high probability. It's not like 1 in 10,000. It's 1 in fucking 42 or 43, right? I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I'll be long dead before that.
You probably will be. But I mean, like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not panicking. What?
When did you say it was coming out?
2032, 2037.
Oh, yeah, I'll probably be dead by then.
It's in the 2030s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My lung will give out by then.
Oh, yeah, worry, for sure he's gone. And hopefully I'm in the will for stuff.
Sure.
Ah! Do I get the bird?
Do you want the bird?
Houdini might outlive you.
Yo, she can live for like 80 years.
Yeah, I'll take her.
Okay.
I'm going to eat her.
Good. That's all I could ever ask for.
The day you die, I'm going to be like...
Don't let her go to waste.
I'm going to grab her by the throat and I'll be like, you're mine.
Don't let her go to waste.
No, never. She's such a baby.
So just so that you know, there is a tsunami that hit Cuba.
Uh-huh.
And I just so happened to be there that year.
Oh, great. What do we got?
I was in Havana, and there are videos of the tides like hitting in.
I bet you like that song.
It is a great song.
Ugh.
Oh, just so that you know, when that song first fucking came out, Cuba was fucking livid about it. Like,
why?
Like livid in a good way.
Oh,
like
that's not what livid means.
Oh, well then
they were excited about it.
Yeah, they were just so fucking happy. Like there was so many remixes of the song. There were so many of like wherever you went, all you would hear is that song in Cuba.
In fact, it might be her only best song. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But nonetheless,
she has nice feet.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm glad you're a feet dude.
Yeah. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Okay.
Like some people are ashamed to admit it. I don't give a fuck.
So I like to joke around about feet a lot, but I don't really have a foot fetish or anything. Like,
we've had this discussion before.
Yeah. But I think it's really funny to tell people I do.
See, that's the thing. Why is there a stigma around it? I have a foot fetish. I don't care.
I don't know. But I already knew you had like a foot fetish.
I'm in.
Because of what you've told me in the past.
I'm in.
Yeah. But
I'm a creep about it too.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
You know, fucking
I don't.
Muhammad Berry, your
protege.
Your protege.
Bitch. Yeah.
He was telling me, he was like, he came up to me and was like, hey, what size shoe do you wear? And I was like, it depends on the shoe. And then he's like, well, go ahead, tell me. And I was like, well, 13 wide or 14? And he was like, okay, so I need like 2 more people. And I was like, what are you talking about?
What is he talking about?
And he's like, I'm trying to get like this whole thing set up, and like I'm going to start taking pictures of people's feet, and I'm going to manage the account, but all I need you to do is model for me. And I was like, why do you want my feet? He's like, because they're big and people want to see those big monkey feet do things. And I was like,
here's the thing. He's unconventionally funny.
Oh yeah.
He's like actually really funny.
Yeah, all the time. And I was like, and you're going to run the account? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, dude, I'll fucking model for you. You want me to step in pudding? Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Like, I'll fucking do it. You want him to wear clothes?
Yeah.
I got you.
Suit and tie my feet. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, all you got to do, take me to get my feet taken care of.
Yeah, that's right. Know? That's right.
Because if you're managing it, you got to take care of me, baby.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got to pimp me out.
Yeah. So, but that's a side note. Let me go back to the actual storm.
For sure.
There's crazy videos of like, you know, like shit, like, you know, like Shark Week or like all those like horror movies where it's on the beach and then you see that stereotypical like giant wave that's slowly approaching. Yeah,
and everybody's kind of like, wait, is
and
that?
Everybody looks and they're like,
yeah,
is he getting closer? And then they all scream and run for their lives.
Once they realize,
but you know, it's too late. Yeah. They're all going to get wiped off the face of the earth.
That happens all the time.
Well, that shit happens in Cuba.
Yeah.
Like, bad, right?
Nice.
Them, like, some of these, like, the way that buildings are built in Cuba are built so that, you know, tsunamis can fucking hit the buildings and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She's like, come on, man.
Will you give her one? She's fucking pissing me off.
Give me another.
Yeah, she's like staring at me and grabbing you. And she's like, come on, please.
Tell him. But the area that I lived in was a lot farther from the beach, right? So, like, we're not near the water at all. But you can look straight down and you can see the beach. And keep in mind, I'm like miles away, right?
For sure.
You can see the waves coming. And it's just like, damn, those are huge. And then they'll crash, they'll hit buildings, and like you'll see it like come onto shore, but then like you'll just be standing there and you'll see the water come, boom, you clearly can tell that the wave hit, and next thing you know, like a few minutes later, fucking rain shower will just come on you for like a quick second.
Yeah. Because
it's the water making it there.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy how far that water has gone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's not just one wave. It's 2, 3, 700. Yeah. It's fucking hurricane season. So, like, that was, like, the first time where we're like, oh, this is crazy. And all my friends are outside, and they're like, yeah, isn't it great? The rain's here. I'm like, fuck you, little islanders. You know? But...
they're like, we've been dancing for this.
Yeah.
Around the fire.
Fucking, one of the worst ones was, because, you know, like, I always talk about your family being bougie and shit, right? Mm. But, you know.
They're definitely not. We just upplay it.
Yeah, they're not. They just make it look really good. Except his mom. His mom's rich as shit.
Oh, my mom is now bawling. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if any of you young bachelors are looking for a
what are you doing right now? Calm down.
His mom, dog.
Fine, but I get to fuck your sister.
That's the deal. And if you don't have a sister, he gets to fuck your brother.
That was good.
If you don't have a brother, he gets to fuck your best friend.
Okay.
Hey, man, there's got to be some sort of...
I'm going down the list.
Yeah. There's a rabbit hole. You got to meet the middle.
The middle? I'm getting all the way to the bottom. Give me all 3.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
But so like one of the things that we used to have was our own beach house, and right on the beach, right? We stayed there for a week, and then we heard that, you know, the weather was going to be really bad. So then we were like, okay, so then we'll leave and then we'll come back, right? Went from that week, left that week, came back the next week, beach house was gone.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to interrupt and say what happened to the beach house, but you've already explained.
Beach house got fucking taken.
No more beach house.
Yeah, so we had to buy a new one.
Damn.
But it was like my mom didn't even skip a fucking beat, man.
No.
Like we went there, like it was like a very low budget one.
For sure.
Like I don't want to make it sound like it was luxurious.
Yeah, it was a hut.
Yeah, it was just a normal like hut. Didn't really like it didn't have electricity or anything. It was just right on the beach.
Yeah.
Right? There was no plumbing, there was no nothing. It was like a outhouse bathroom and all that.
For sure.
But it was meant to just, you know, you're staying on the beach, you fucking cook your food out in the fire pit, you know, really simple life.
Yeah.
Right? Nothing crazy. It's fucking Cuba. You're not getting that 20-star hotel. But it was nice. Like we had bunk beds, we had like what we needed to like survive. But we were like, okay, cool. We're here this week. We stayed for like 3 days. Boom, boom, boom. And then we left, came back the next week. Cause you know, that's what we did. We would just go back and forth between the beach house, staying on the beach, doing lake stuff, whatever. Right. And then adventuring. And then we came back. It was gone. My mom, without a beat, just went to this other place, was like, hey, we heard that the family just died here. It was like old people. Can we buy this house from you since you guys don't want it?
Amazing.
Yeah, we talked to like the kids of the old people.
Yeah.
And they literally were like, yeah, we haven't moved any of their shit out, so all their stuff is still in there. And they just immediately sold it to us.
Nice.
We were like, okay, cool. Stayed the night there. The only thing that was kind of crazy was it was me and my family. We stayed there. They actually had electricity. It was like, you know, more on the city side. The beach was like a mile away, you know? So that one's not going away anytime soon. We can go visit it anytime we want. Unless some crazy tsunami comes.
Yeah.
But we got there. It was me, a bunch of my cousins. We brought extra bedding and a bunch of extra stuff so that all of us can like stay there, because there's like 10 of us, you know, all of my cousins, there's a bunch of us. And fucking we even brought like livestock and shit, like pigs, some chickens, because we were planning on cooking.
Where the fuck is this story going?
Well,
I've noticed when you tell stories, and I'm not hating on you,
yeah,
you have to explain every detail
because
until the end.
Because
just get to the juice and then the end.
No, because the thing
there's no building climax. You're just
everything has a reason for it to be there, but it just doesn't all make sense until the ending. And sometimes it's not worth it.
That's if you're talking to dumbasses. You're talking to me.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Okay.
You don't got to tell me how many fucking sheeps and chickens are there.
Yeah, but I'm also talking to them.
The dumbasses.
So this is what
we love our audience.
Yeah. So this is what ended up happening, all right? We get into the house and we like start doing our thing. It's nighttime now.
Okay.
And our plans were that we were going to the third day there, kill the pig and, you know, eat it, whatever. This is the first day, right? We go to the beach, we have fun, we do what we had to do, we make food, dinner for the night, and then pitch black. It's all dark and shit, right? We got the lights on in the house, and we're just all talking, and then it's just like there's no TV or anything, so it's just us, right? So we're all telling stories, and my mom decides to tell a horror story about the people who died in the house.
Great.
Right?
Yeah.
Keep in mind,
your mom is wicked.
Yeah. My mom, she made up this story instantaneously, right?
Yeah.
So she starts saying this story about how the wife of the house wanted to kill the husband, how she poisoned him every day until he slowly got sick. Then he realized and he decided to slice her throat. Like, she said a bunch of shit, right?
Nice.
Keep in mind, this loving elderly couple died in their bed together. Peacefully.
Fuck it.
We were told the real story. And at the time, my sister was sleeping in their bed, right? So she was sleeping in that bed with, I think her boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
And like there was like 4 people in that bed because it was a really big bed. But nonetheless, my mom starts telling this story and like, you know, the lights start flickering, the fucking everything's like it starts to get atmosphere, like it starts to get a little spooky, right? And the more and more my mom's talking shit, like stuff starts happening in the house.
Nice.
And we don't know if it was because she was talking shit or if it was just naturally this was going to happen.
Yeah, and this episode would have been good for our actual Halloween episode.
Yeah, but it just came to me.
It's all good. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was the bed that my sister was staying on.
By the way, all this like chicken pig talk you were talking about, like I said, has nothing to do with the juice of the story, which is what you're telling me now.
Yeah. The bed, the legs got pulled out from the bottom and they broke. So like on all 4 sides, they go, you know.
That's fat people though.
Right. But you would think that it would tilt one way and then break that way.
Okay.
They came outwards.
Yeah.
So
I'm not trying to debunk you.
Right. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That happens, right? And we're like, what the fuck?
For sure.
Like, as soon as my mom's telling the story, they fucking break the bed. The bread's fucking... Did I say bread?
Yeah.
The bread is power.
Take your time, brother.
The bed.
The bread is power.
Huh? Whoever controls the bread, it controls the economy.
I'm with you.
All right. But
we almost stole some bread.
we should have stole that bread.
Jim was almost on it.
Really?
We'll get there.
Oh my god.
We'll tell that next, and I'll tell it.
Okay.
So I can keep it.
Yeah, you tell
not
it.
work. You know. Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
But what ends up happening is, as soon as that happens, the bed breaks. Right.
Yeah.
The power goes out. Like it's.
Oh, it's like 111. Yeah.
This happens.
Yeah.
The power goes out.
Yeah.
And then we hear the pig scream as loud as it can, and you hear a like it's like
a what?
And the pig just dies.
What?
And we're like, what the fuck just happened?
That's crazy.
This was a healthy pig.
Yeah.
Nothing was wrong with it.
No coyotes or nothing?
No, it was in the house with us.
Amazing. The pig came in.
It was in like a pen, right? Inside the house because they didn't want to leave it outside because it could have got stolen. Right? So the pig just screams, and then all you hear is it breathe its last breath. And all of a sudden, my family's like, what the fuck? Stop! Like, as soon
Stop telling it. Stop talking. Yeah.
My mom is still telling the story.
While this is happening.
Yeah. And they're like, shut up, bitch! Be quiet! You're gonna kill us! And like, you know, they start cussing my mom out, and like, my uncles are like, fuck! The meat's gonna go bad. We gotta hurry. You know,
and they
fucking pull their knives out and start cutting the fucking pig open. There's blood everywhere.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm just sitting there like, man, I'm so glad I fucking don't talk to any of these people. Like this is wild. Because keep in mind, I do talk to them, but for the most part, I'm very quiet in Cuba because I don't like speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'll just be sitting there, just quiet as can be, watching the whole thing just happen. It was like a cinematic movie.
Yeah.
I watched because like I was across from my sister's bed. Breaks, legs fucking get flung out, fucking power starts, and then goes out, and then all you hear is the pig dying, and like it gets killed, and then everybody's like, fuck, we gotta start cutting it. And then they're like prepping it and everything. We put a fire on in the back and we start cooking it at night and shit. Because, you know, you gotta get it while it's fresh.
Right.
You can't just let it spoil through the night.
Right.
You know? And
you gotta at least clean it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then as soon as we got done doing all of that, like everybody was rushing. I wasn't doing shit. I was on my Nintendo DS. As soon as all that shit happened, like I was listening to the story, I had that shit in my pocket. But, you know, as soon as all the crazy shit started happening, I'm like, not me.
Not me.
But yeah, So that's why I mentioned the pigs and the chickens.
Okay.
Nothing happened to the chickens.
No, but the pigs did come through.
With the pig, the pig died. The poor thing.
That's good.
It had no reason, but like, yeah. And then I stole.
Stop stealing things.
It was mine technically. My mom bought the house. Like,
What did you steal?
So technically, because those people's stuff was still there, right?
Sure.
And what happened was the family was like, "Hey, you guys can stay here since it's your house now.
Yeah.
But we want to clear out my parents' stuff." So they had this, they had this little lock box that actually had like a little combination thing on it, and I took it, and I figured out the combination like a day or two later, and it had nothing in it but like small knickknacks, and I was like, I finally opened it and I showed my mom. And I was like, "Hey, I stole this from the scary house that we were living in." And she was like, No. Go throw that shit in the trash, bury it, do something, get it out of here.
Yeah.
Because we already got cursed by them that one day. You can't take someone else's shit.
You probably cursed the whole family.
Yeah. So then I was like, okay. Went, took it, threw the fucking thing in like the bonfire, and it just burnt.
Nice.
Yeah.
You released the spirits.
Yeah.
It's good.
So that's my main story for that.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Whoever controls the bread controls the power.
Yeah.
Whoever controls the power controls the world.
Yeah.
So it's no secret that we work at the airport, and we were tasked this week with moving a lot of stuff as there's a reconstruction / refurbishing of our offices.
Complete bullshit. I hated it.
Here's the thing. Let me point this out real quick.
It was not fun.
And some of our viewers will understand this because they also work with us. Everyone at that company is weak as fuck. And they're a fucking pussy.
Oh my God.
So it's tasked to Kyle and I, literally just Kyle and I, to lift everything extremely heavy. And anybody that says that they're helping or doing, or they're also doing that or whatever, no, they're a fucking liar. They're asking other people to do it for them.
They're lying.
And now I'm okay with doing that and stuff.
I just want to throw this part out there.
Throw it out there.
At no point in time have I ever shown anybody or told anybody that I'm willing to lift shit for people. I'm big muscle bound heavy guy. No, I don't ever do any of that shit. Whenever people say, "Hey, you want to help?" I tell them no all the time.
He does.
Because I don't want to help lift anything for any reason. Doesn't matter how heavy it is. It can be 5 pounds and I still don't want to do it.
Right.
This motherfucker always gloating. He's like, "Yeah, I got these big ass arms."
That's true.
All this crazy shit. And he's always like, "Yeah, I'll lift anything. I'll lift you," blah, 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 talking all this mad shit.
Right.
I don't say none of that.
Yeah.
I never say I'm able to lift a single fucking thing.
And I just want to point out, and you know this already. I feel like you don't believe me, but you know this already. I don't volunteer you. People just put you and I together.
Yeah.
I never say, "All right, let me get Kyle." No. It's always, "I got it. I'll take care of it." And they're like, "All right, I'll tell Kyle." I'm like, "Why?"
Yeah.
I just want to make that clear. I don't do that for you. And yes, I do, with my massive ego, always am like, "I'll fucking lift it up. Yeah, I'll get the desk myself. Yeah, no problem. I'll get the lockers and the cabinets."
Just so that you guys understand.
But I am the first person to bitch about it.
This fucking fuckwad.
Yeah, go ahead.
The whole time.
Fuckwad's good.
Bitching and crying about, "I've been lifting everything. I've been doing all this shit."
Yeah.
He was crying about it for like an hour.
Okay.
And then our boss walks in and he's like, "Hey, Thomas." And then Thomas comes walking up and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to be having some stuff come through. I might need your help." And then immediately Thomas is like, "Yeah, whatever it is, you point it out, I'll lift it." I'm like, "Fuck you, dude. You just complained for 2 hours about lifting shit. And now you're going to be like, I'll jump right to it. Fuck you."
Listen.
You know what I did? I looked him dead in his eyes and I was like, "I'm done picking shit up for you people." I said that to his face and he looked at me, laughed, and then I was like, "All right, what do you need me to pick up?" You know?
If I'm getting paid, it's all good. I'll bitch about it. I'll do it at my own pace. But God damn it, I'll get it done.
All right, whatever you say.
That's the best ad I can give you. I'm such a genuine... You know what? I'm starting a company. Bitch and lift.
Bitch and lift.
Bitch and lift, baby.
We only hire people who complain.
So we had to go get lockers for our employees' locker room, like break room. We're getting not new lockers, but better shaped lockers than what we had. All very heavy, big stuff. And so we were in the underground of the airport, and we were with Jim, who was he's a custodian is a good word. He's a maintenance man.
He's a maintenance man, but he is way more than just a maintenance man. He is
our friend.
He is our friend. At least has become our friend.
And we know he's a genuine person when he goes, when we say in the car, first of all, he doesn't like us. But in the car, the
whole time we are with this man, we are just talking shit the entire time. Making up the randomest conversations.
Oh yeah, threatening,
dude. Yeah, we're like
just saying crazy shit.
We're just saying like whatever we want.
He's trying to drive with a heavy load in his truck, and we're in the back seat, just fucking.
We're in the back. We'll kill you right now.
You know, we could take the truck if we wanted.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Don't test us. We'll take our belts off and strangle both of you.
Jim's probably like 59 years old on the dot, 60 years old.
Maybe, yeah. Well, no, he's ready to retire. So he's got to be at least in his 60s more.
I think since he did 27.
He's also a veteran, which, you know, cool.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
27 in the military. And he said like 18, 28 with the company.
Yeah.
Something like that. All right. So he's about 62, we'll just say.
Whatever.
Average 63, right?
Sure.
He gets it.
He retires next month.
Are we allowed to say that?
Can we not?
Do people know?
Who cares? We didn't say his full name.
So, no.
Oh, what does that matter?
Doesn't. So
he literally said that to us with the biggest smile on his face. You think he cares if people in our podcast know?
You're right. Unapologetic voices.
Yeah, fuck that.
So, did I apologize to you earlier for like being angry about the Valentine's Day stuff?
I don't think you did, but if you did, fuck you.
Exactly.
All right.
So just to point it out there, Jim gets it.
Yeah, Jim fucking gets it.
And when we mentioned we had a podcast, he had no interest at all. So we know he's genuine.
He did not care.
He's the man.
At all.
But he found us funny.
Yeah.
So we're not just assholes. He was laughing that we're cool people to move heavy stuff with.
He talked shit about you when you didn't get in the car.
God damn it. What'd he say?
We'll come back to it.
I told Jim, because you know me, I'm lifting heavy stuff. I'm bitching the whole time.
Yeah.
And doing it. I was telling Jim, and he was bitching with me. I want to make that clear.
Yeah.
He and I have been on the same page for the last 3 days. Fuck, what was I just saying?
Oh, come on.
Back me up.
He's there. He's cool.
Oh, okay. I told him, my schedule is 5 to 1:30.
Yeah.
So when it's 2:55, buddy, I'm out of here if there's nothing else that you're needing me for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You didn't need to get in the truck with him either for that.
I didn't, but he really didn't want to lift that.
It's fucking 45 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he has no right to talk shit about that part. So let me finish the hallway story real quick. So Jim, who we have convinced to be our number 3 in the last 3 days.
Yeah.
Our number 3 conspirator.
Yeah.
We kept walking with these heavy ass lockers back and forth down these really long hallways to the ramp to where his truck is that we can load them on. And we kept passing these pallet carts filled with fresh bread.
Just filled with fresh bread.
There was alcohol, there was water, there was, drinks and other snacks. We didn't give a fuck. We kept passing this fresh smelling brioche bun bread.
Yeah.
It was a whole bunch of burger bun breads, right?
Uh-huh.
But they smell, you can tell they're not the best. Looking at them, it's that's your standard airline burger patty. Or,
this is coming from people who haven't eaten all day because we were stuck in the underground with fucking lockers.
Oh yeah, from the morning to late afternoon we didn't eat and we were doing all this shit. So smelling the bread back and forth, immediately Kyle and I were devising a plan. We were joking at first, as soon as we passed it, we were
I was not.
Did I initiate the crime?
No.
What happened?
As soon as we passed the bread the first time, I was we could steal that right now.
Right.
I said that immediately.
Okay, and then I said something chill out.
Yeah, you're relax, motherfucker.
Yeah, calm down.
It's not that serious. It's
and
just
then we
bread.
kept passing it.
Yeah.
I was getting with you.
I kept saying all these like slogans and all this random shit, and you're like, I'm starting to understand, Kyle.
I'm starting to get it. Because I kept passing it, I kept smelling it, and I'm like, I know it's not good. I know we're not allowed to take it. I know this, and that, and I was like, but. And it got to the point where we kept like we probably passed it back and forth 4 times, and we kept making jokes passing it like you were saying, whoever controls the bread controls the power.
Yeah.
And I was
whoever controls the bread has the power.
I was like, Kyle, please, we can't do it. And so it got to the point where we just kept talking about it so much, Jim started laughing. On the 5th time back, I go, we're passing it, and I go, Jim, now's the time. Get the bread. And he like actually like takes interest, and he takes a look, and he like picks it up, and I was like, don't touch the bread. Stop. We gotta go.
He immediately said, put that shit back down. And then a fucking worker who does work in that spot shows up.
Right around the corner.
Yeah. And then immediately he bluntly ignored me.
Fuck it.
But I looked him dead in his face and was like, yo, let us get some of that bread.
You said that?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And he looked at me with like a serious face and was just like, no.
Oh, I heard that. You're right. I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, I didn't want any anyway.
That was funny.
I was so pissed. I was like, this is our chance.
What the fuck did Jim say?
Oh, so
I've had his back these last 3 days. I want to hear what the fuck he has to say.
he didn't say anything really bad.
Yeah.
But
Just like he should have gotten here.
but we got in the car.
Yeah.
And then he was like,
I've been in the car all day with that motherfucker, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah, he said that.
Okay.
He was like, can't believe he didn't want to come on the final ride along with me. And then
he was upset.
And then I was like, I was like, yeah, he's a bitch. Don't worry about it.
You did fuel the fire all day.
And then,
Yeah.
And then he was like, yeah, man, he doesn't know how to shut the fuck up. And then I was like, hey, man, just so you know, I do. And I just stayed quiet. I didn't say a single word to him.
That's funny.
And we kept going. We get to the spot, and I was like, just so that you know, I didn't want to come here with you. And he was just like, he's like, yeah, what tipped you off to want to come? I was like, my stupidity of walking into your car. I was this close to just following Thomas, but then he shook my hand, and I was like, I guess I got to get in the car.
So when we loaded the last little bit, by the way, there was no discussion for this trip. Like, this was probably 30 minutes, 45 minutes after our last trip.
Oh, yeah. Our bosses were expecting us to leave. They didn't expect us to get in the car. They didn't
expect us to keep staying and, like, working with him. So that last little bit, which was already 2 hours after my shift ended, I was, like, packing up and getting ready to go. And it was one last locker thing and, like, another thing that had to go back to the place where we were driving back and forth. And so, you know, Kyle and I took it out to his truck. And with no words said, I shook both their hands, looked Kyle dead in the eyes, nodded, and then walked away.
And then I nodded back, and I got in the car.
And then Kyle got in the car. So it's all good.
Yeah. And then we get there, and then, like, immediately I fucking yank that shit, throw it right off.
And then you're done.
Yeah, and then I'm like, all right, take me back to work, motherfucker. And he was just like, okay. And then we start riding back, and then I pretty much told him, I was like, yeah, man, it was really cool hanging out with you today, blah, blah, blah. I know we barely ever hung out. Yeah. I've hung out with him on many occasions. Right. I've had to go to the hiring center and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've never really talked to him.
No, never.
You know?
Yeah. So I've technically, like, had his number in my phone and talked to him, like, you know, work-wise for, like, 4 years. Mm-hmm. But I've never had that much time with him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The moment, like, I don't know what the hell happened, but he pulls up, and immediately, without any hesitation, I say a racist joke right off the bat.
Absolutely.
And then he just looks, laughs, and I'm like, oh, we're in.
Yeah, we're in.
We got this guy.
This is it.
Sharuk is right next to me. Oh, man, dude. Sharuk. So.
Go off.
No. There was I didn't have any bad problems with Sharuk.
Okay.
It was just funny as fuck because.
Oh, making him uncomfortable in front of Jim?
No. Yeah, I did like that a lot.
I kept touching him.
Dude, that was so fucking hilarious.
I sat behind him and just kept fondling him.
But what ended up happening was when me and Sharuk had to go to the hiring center. So like when he took me away from you from helping.
When he took you from me.
Yeah. When I was taken. We stopped at Tim Hortons and he was,
you fucking assholes. Go ahead.
And he was like, I gotta get a coffee before I do anything.
They didn't get Jim Mariah anything.
Because I'm not gonna be able to function. I didn't get anything. It was all him.
You didn't get a hot chocolate?
No.
You didn't get a donut?
Let me continue.
Look at me in the eyes. Okay, go ahead.
Let me continue. So I'm sitting in the car and like he's there and he's like, do you want anything? And I was like, no, I'm good, man. Because I never want anything from him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like not because out of malice or anything. I just
don't.
Yeah, I just didn't want anything from him. I'm like, no, I'm good, man. You don't got to buy nothing for me. And he's like, okay. And immediately he orders a coffee and he orders a donut. That's what I heard, right? But I wasn't really paying attention.
Right.
And he ended up ordering 2 donuts.
Nice.
And he, I didn't skip a beat. I didn't care, right? He's like, he got his coffee. He's like, cool. He got his donut. He pulls it out. And then like, he like does this, right? Like I'm sitting there and he like reaches his hand out and like passes me the bag.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got you. I grab it and I'm just sitting there holding it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, you know,
as the driver,
right. He needs to be able to drive.
I'm with you.
So brain in my head, we
share one brain cell here. I got you.
I'm sitting there holding his donut for him, and he's driving, eating the donut, and then he makes it to like a red light or something, and he's like, "Fuck is wrong with you? You're not gonna eat the donut?" And then I'm like, "What are you talking about? This is for me?" That was my exact. And he was like, yeah, why the fuck would I just eat a donut in your face and not get you a donut? And then I was like, I just thought you wanted me to hold the bag for you, you know? Like, It was reasonable. I said I didn't want anything.
Yeah.
You got 2 donuts. Big deal.
Right.
I'll hold it for you.
Right.
I don't feel any malice. And he's like, what kind of asshole would I be if I just made you hold my donut so I could just eat it in your face?
Hey, man.
I was like, well, I technically would have asked for that, right? Because I said I didn't want anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then he's like, no, that's too much of an ass. Like he said to him, he's like, I am an asshole, but I'm not that big of an asshole. Well, and I'm like, all right. I fucking ate the donut. And I'm like, cool. But we get to the place.
So by the way, you guys could have kept that information to yourself.
Oh, but I wanted you to know.
Why?
Because that shit's funny.
Jim and I pull up after suffering for like fucking hours. And the first thing Kyle says is, we got Tim Hortons. And Jim and I are like, where's ours?
We didn't get you guys shit. Now, keep in mind that hot cocoa that I had. What?
Your feet look really clean. I know that's weird after just talking about a foot fetish. I'm not looking at your feet like that. I'm just saying, like, your feet are very, like, they look clean and pale.
Well,
is that weird?
They're my feet, and I don't have like bad feet.
That's what it is. I'm used to like, especially men having like bad rough feet.
Okay.
Like years of judo.
Yeah, no, my feet aren't rough.
Up the sides of my feet. Like my heel and everything are fine, but like this part right there, and like where the thick bones are on the sides, they're all calloused and scarred because of like years of swiping on the mat. You know.
You see this?
Oh, is that the thing?
That's where the pole ripped through my foot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It used to be more.
I finally see it.
It used to be more in the middle.
Yeah.
But it like
grow. Yeah.
As I grew, the skin like moved.
Wow.
But this used to be my entire bottom foot.
Wow. Okay.
You know?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Let it be known, ladies and gentlemen, Kyle has pretty decent feet for a man.
Other than the giant scar at the bottom.
Nah, people like scars. Hey, man.
I guess so.
Mo Berry's onto something. He knew.
Yeah. Fuck, what were we saying?
Fuck it. Tim Hortons.
Oh, yeah. So, the whole time with Sharuk was just me lifting everything.
Of course.
And me, like, him helping me, but his extent was like half power. Right? Well, I had to use full power.
Right.
The whole time.
Yeah. And he was full of like excuses like, I had surgery on my hip, right?
No, he never complained about his hip or whatever, his leg. He only complained about his arm because he hurt his arm the day before, apparently.
Jerking off too hard? What?
Apparently he lifted a lot of stuff.
Sure.
But
he was jerking it.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I think we had a lot of really funny moments because of this whole like resetting situation.
For sure.
But let me tell that story about Stephanie really quick.
Yeah. That's
because
good.
I got off track about it and I really wanted to say it.
You know Gimli from Fellowship of the Ring?
Yeah.
The dwarf?
Yeah.
Steph's like the Gimli of our office. I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
Like the angry dwarf.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I'll say this. This choosing him as that choice kind of makes sense for what she says, right?
I'm with you.
So, you know how I just sometimes a question will pop into my head
all the time?
And
you got to let it
it's
fly.
always a fucked up question. It's not something like normal.
Right. Yeah.
So the question was, I looked at Priscilla in her face.
Yeah.
And was like, hey, Priscilla, if...
yes, Kyle?
Yeah. Yes, Kyle? She doesn't sound like that.
She kind of does.
But my exact words were, if your brother or sister, because I know she has a brother and sister, right, came up to you and all of a sudden they had like a Vietnam flashback and they realized that their pastor at the church...
Leodociclitis.
What are you on right now?
Hold on. What would you do in that situation? Like, the moment they spew all that information out to you and what happened and like they came out to you about it.
I feel like we got to censor that. Go ahead.
Sure. What would you do? And she was just like, I caught her off guard with the question. So she's like, I don't even know. I would just, ask them, how are they? Like,
yeah, like a good person.
Listen to them. And I was like, man, not me. I'm going to become
a friend to all.
To that fucking church. I'm lighting everybody up. All of them are a part of this crew. And I was just like, yeah, but that's my fucked up brain talking. Like, I would be like, oh, I have to protect my family. I'm going to go out there and get my justice no matter what for that person, right? Now, I probably wouldn't have to do it for my brother because my brother would have handled it himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I say this with confidence.
I am going to let you know right now, we might have to cut this whole segment. You cannot say
Leodociclitis
and churches in the same fucking 6 minutes.
Sure, but...
So now you're just telling me at this point.
Okay.
Okay.
But Stephanie comes in.
Okay.
And, we do that pause thing like, man, should we tell Stephanie?
Yeah.
And Stephanie's like, what the fuck were you guys talking about that you're so quiet all of a sudden? I heard you talking behind the door. And I was like, okay, I'll tell you. And I say the same question to her, right?
Yeah.
Without a beat.
She always thinks we're talking shit.
Yeah. Without a beat, she's like, oh, I'm making an explosive device and killing everybody.
No, now we got to keep it in because Stephanie's adding to the fire.
Yeah. Immediately, she's like, everybody in that neighborhood is dying because I'm going to make sure that church is burned to the ground.
Jeez.
And I was like, oh, you're burning. I was just planning to shoot a few people and, make sure that the pastor was one of them, But she was like, nope, at least like half the block is getting killed.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, damn. And then as soon as she said that, I was like, hey, I know a guy that could make probably an unstable bomb. And she was like, you can't say that in the airport. Like she just flipped really quick and she was like, went back to serious mode.
It's true.
She's like, you can't say that in the airport. And I'm like, but it's just us. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? She's like, whatever,
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, okay, sure. I don't know a guy who could make a bomb for us. But, that's neither here or there. But she just came out and said that shit, right?
Mm.
And she was like, oh, yeah, wholeheartedly. Like, if this happened to my son, sister, hell, if it was someone who I just sort of like, dude, people's going to die. And I'm like, oh, you're just out there ready to kill. I was like, good. We're on the same mindset. Let's get to it. And like, fucking Abril was there too. and she like said her little portion of the story. She was like, yeah, I'd ask my brother or sister what they'd want to do.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, okay. What if they don't know what they want to do? You're not going to just take it into your own hands, be the hero you were always meant to be. Just think how many people were attacked before your sister or brother. Like, don't you just want to get that person and smear their blood all over the face of the church? Like, I just kept saying it crazy. Like,
What are you on right now, dude?
d-
This whole storyline is like insane to me.
right. But I just decided to say that like a crazy, aspect. Like a wild story.
I don't think you should ever do that again.
What, with a wild story?
That's just insane.
It was funny at the time. I think what with how me and Priscilla joke, how she talks about my dead father all the time.
Yeah.
I had that in my head. Oh, murder, killing. And we started talking about the death penalty and all that, right?
Why?
I don't know, but that's what led to that question.
Okay.
We were talking about death penalties and shit. So
Are you for or against
death penalty?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fine line, isn't it?
It depends.
Because I'm with you.
Because it's one of those, I'd rather them suffer in prison for the rest of their lives.
But are they suffering?
But the question is, are they suffering?
Right.
And
some people still hold power.
Yeah. And
right?
if they're not, it's like,
some people want to go to jail.
I feel like the death penalty should be a little different.
How so?
Give the power to the people.
Stone to death.
Like, and what I mean by the people, give the power to the loved ones that were wronged.
That's very fair.
Maybe so. Like me personally,
our empire of bum fights is just growing.
Our empire for the bum fights. Oh my god.
That was funny. I'm glad I opened my eyes and see that.
Yeah. But, in my head, I'm like, if there's so many people who want to kill the person that did it, right?
Yeah.
But all they get to see is that, they get, a lethal injection or something. No, dude, just firing squad. Me, my brother would love to kill someone who killed my sister.
I'm with you.
Or vice versa. If I fucking died, I'd hope that, my sister could have the balls to gun the guy down.
I'm with you.
But I don't want it to be.
I want like Old West rules back.
Right. I don't want it to be like the style of like, because you know how like this still happens, right? Where like, oh, a dude accidentally killed someone else, right? And now he's boned for the rest of his life because if he leaves wherever he's hiding, he's going to get killed by that family if they find him.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a fine line.
Like that, I'm like, okay, but this guy was caught. He was fucking. I'm saying if he got caught by the judge system, right, the judicial, whatever that system.
Yeah, almost there.
Yeah, the Jewish system. But he goes into that shit. He does everything. He gets the death penalty, and then a family member gets to kill him. That's just.
Or like they can't do it.
Well, if they can't do it,
their final say.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I want to tell you. And then they can decide, you know what? Life. Lock them up.
Oh, like they just live? I guess.
Some people are forgiving like that.
That's true. But
I think that's very fair.
But if the off chance that they were given the death penalty, because like, for the death penalty thing, I don't believe anyone should just get killed, just period.
Sure.
I feel like they should. I believe in suffering, right? Like you should suffer for what you've done, whether it was good or bad.
Oh, well, I mean, no, I don't know if I agree with you on that. Suffering is like torture. Death is final. Death is.
Yeah, but death is bliss.
You're gone.
To get away from,
Yeah, but they're dead.
Yeah, but when you're dead, there's so many different levels of people believe in for death, right?
Sure.
So, like, some people believe that once you die, it's just over. There's nothing else. Right. Some people think you die, you go to hell, you burn for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Right. Some people think you go to heaven, boom, and then you have a blissful afterlife.
I still think that's scary.
What? Going to heaven?
Yeah.
Like you'd rather go to hell?
No. But does the thought of eternity scare you? The thought of eternity is actually one of the few things that I actually have like waking fear of. Or like I get like anxiety about.
I've always liked the concept of reincarnation.
Exactly.
Because it's the thought of like if there was a God, right? Not saying I do or don't believe or whatever, right? But for him to reutilize and recycle would make sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah. So like, how hard would it be for him to be like, all right, little Susie died at the age of 89. Let's give her another body real quick.
Yeah, I mean, like
I'll say this.
Go ahead.
Or if you want to say your part real quick.
No.
Okay. If you say like you get to hang out in heaven for as long as you want, right? And you're like, dude, I'm done. I've done everything I wanted to do here.
Reincarnate me.
Let me get back.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So
and we don't know if that's already happened.
I don't know if you ever watched that one show, The Good Place.
No, but I've heard a lot about it.
Okay.
Because they're in purgatory.
Essentially, yeah. But there's a reason why. Do you want me to like ruin it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate you asking.
Okay. So long story short,
go ahead.
Throughout the seasons, they figure things out, right?
Yeah.
Like first season, they're like, oh, we're in hell.
Right. And I heard in season 2, they're like, wait, we're actually just in the middle. Why the fuck are we here? Like that kind of stuff.
Yes. So they're like in the between before going to hell. But they're also like, why is it that nobody has got, like, they find out no one's gotten into heaven in like decades, years.
Oh, wow.
Nobody. Like,
why?
Doesn't matter what religion it is, doesn't matter what you believed in, you could not get into heaven because of the way the rules that they have set up, that it's virtually impossible to get in.
It's because you have to live a certain lifestyle?
No, like,
how do they set it up?
I don't remember, but like the rules were just so like dog shit that like the smallest thing got you thrown in hell.
Right. Like you have to be completely pure.
Right. So they devise up a new system where instead of you dying and going immediately to heaven or hell, you'd go to purgatory. And within there, you live your life in purgatory. And it shows that if you can change. So if you were a bad person and your life changed and you now are a good person, you can make it to heaven, right? If you were a good person and now you're a horrible person after death,
right,
then you're going to hell, you know? So like
second chance.
Right. They're giving you your second chance before you truly get suffer or bliss. But there was the thought in heaven that all the people are so bored because they get whatever they want, right?
Yeah.
They're so bored with their lives that there's no reason to do anything.
That's what I'm saying.
And their wording was, well, we have this door right here. And they're like, what does the door lead to? And they're like, we don't know. It leads to nothing from what we know. But once you go through it, you're gone. Right? So they pretty much, like, all the people who are living at heaven, they're like, well, maybe I do have a reason to live right now, and I have a few more things that I want to do before going through that door. Because like they figured out, like, oh, there's a way to end my suffering here, because now I don't have to live in bliss. Right? I can just end it.
Right.
Which, you know, this is all touchy-feely stuff because we usually don't get too much on religion stuff, but I really like how The Good Place covers a good amount of stuff. Just because, like, I don't know, there's probably a lot of religious people who hate it, you know, but
as always. Yeah.
But it's just one of those, like, seeing it play out and how it plays. It has a good ending.
Right on.
You know, I believe the ending is the girl gets a second chance at life or something like that. Like they let her come back to life.
Right on.
And then I think it ends like that. But
it was only 3 seasons, so
yeah,
probably.
It was really fast.
Yeah.
But it was really good for the most part. And then they the devil guy that, or whoever their version of Satan was, right? He pretty much becomes like the leader of like that whole thing, and he now runs hell, or like his division or whatever.
Oh, I see.
You know?
Okay, cool.
Like he runs purgatory.
Nice.
And his whole thing is like building separate purgatories for all the different individuals.
Yeah.
So like there's not just one purgatory, there's hundreds of them.
I used to have panic attacks as a kid thinking about that kind of stuff, so that's why I was interested in it.
Oh, okay.
Like I literally had panic attacks about how, because my dad and like the white side of my family was extremely religious, to where like at the point where like when I was telling my dad that I was kind of gay, where he was like threatening me with like going to hell and stuff. Like it was bad. Like he was trying to like beat it into me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So
can't be gay in these neighborhoods.
This is before we were cool. So
this is before we were cool.
So like that stuff just gave me really bad anxiety attacks. Like I was like thinking about it. I'm like, even if you go to heaven, I was like 12 thinking about this, 9, you know, I was like, if you go to heaven, it's forever. Like it's never, ever ending. It doesn't stop ever. And I'm just like, that's fucking horrible. Even if I could have everything I wanted, even if like whatever.
Yeah, at some point you're not going to want anything.
No, and at some point I'm going to be like, I have to have chaos. It's human nature. I have to be like.
Well, you'll become the chaos, right? You never know.
I'm stealing all the bread.
There's going to be bum fights.
Soon. Yeah.
My heaven is a world of mayhem.
You know, I don't think about it anymore because I've come to terms with the fact that like if I'm going, I'm going. But it's like, you know.
Okay. You know, it's one of those like I personally haven't put that much thought into it because when I was younger, I did go to church. I learned about everything.
Yeah.
I learned fucking, you know, Christianity.
Yeah.
That's what I learned. I don't necessarily side with Christianity, but I still keep a lot of the morals.
It makes no fucking sense. Go ahead.
I keep a lot of like the morals and thought processes between it.
Oh, you know? The morals are there
because I was raised on it.
Right. Like I know how to be a good person.
Right. But I don't necessarily want to follow that specific religion.
No.
And you know, this is the one thing that I will never do. I will never disrespect a religion or their church unless I had a gun and I was planning to shoot the place up.
Well, don't say that.
I would never, by the way, because, you know, bullets are expensive.
I feel like you have to put a disclaimer at the beginning of this video. If you're going to keep all that, I think you have to put a disclaimer.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
So,
is it the church part or the
that whole story with Priscilla?
Really?
Has to go.
All of it?
All of it.
Why?
I'm telling you right now. It's got to go. Or you got to like bleep. Bleep. Bleep.
For like school shooting wise?
Bleep.
That'd be bleep? Okay.
Bleep.
Fair enough.
Once you hear yourself retell it, I think you'll be like, oh, I get it.
Oh, by no means did I think what I was saying at the time was a good thing.
Yeah.
No.
Especially on a media platform. It's all good.
I was really considering it. And like maybe I could have said it in a better way, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you know, maybe you were attacked as a child. I don't know.
How hard was that?
Yeah.
You know what'd be funny? Is if like you go into there and you do like an audio edit and like over your own words or my words, you just fill in your own shit. You go, attacked. Like completely out of like sync with what you're saying. And then it fills in the rest.
Done.
I'm with you. I have good ideas.
Yeah. I can easily put that in there.
Hilarious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
all right, guys, we're cutting it here. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed any of this. If you did, leave a like, leave a follow as well. Hit us up on our email at unapologeticvoices1@gmail.com. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day.